Hi, my name is Mark, and today I'd like to tell you more about Baseball Highlights 2045, a game I got for review from Eagle-Gryphon Games. And this is a game about baseball, futuristic baseball, and you will lead a team of humans, of cyborgs, of robots to victory in series of games to win the World Series, and you will compete with other teams. This game can be played from 1 to 4 players. The cool thing is that you can play solo against Automa, and this is the basis loaded edition of the game. It contains many different expansions, different teams, and I think that all that was released to Baseball Highlights is combined in this one box. So now let me show you what the game is about, and then I will tell you what I think about it. This is Baseball Highlights prepared for a game. I will tell you how to play the game from a solo perspective, because in solo perspective you play against the automated opponent, and in a normal game you play just against another human player that plays by the standard rules. We have 2 stadium mats, one for you, one for your opponent, for the Automa, and the automated opponent is always the home team, and you are the visitor team. And it matters because the visitor team will start first, will play first. The whole game, depending on the play mode, but if you play a solo game, can last up to 7 games. You will play like a World Series, and the first player, the best out of 7 games, will be the winner. So, if you manage to win 4 times in a row, you will play the game because your opponent will not have a chance to catch you up. But basically, you will play up to 7 games, and the best player wins. There are different play modes. If you play with other human, you have a beginner mode, or you have like a normal mode, expert mode. You can play a tournament with 4 players, but let's focus on the solo game. One stadium, the second stadium. On your stadium mat, you will have a deck of cards, and this is your team. There are different starting teams in the game box. You have to choose one, and those are your cards. I will talk about the cards a little later. Here you will track how many points, how many runs you have scored in a current game, and here you will track how many games you have won in total. On the top of those 2 stadiums, we have the free agent row. This is like a market of cards. There are always 6 cards revealed, and those are the cards that you will be able to buy with better players, with better players with better abilities that you will be able to acquire after each mini game, after each game. If you play solo, you will be able to buy those cards before you start the whole game, and depending on your difficulty level, you can have a few buy rounds. The hardest mode is 0, so it means that you will just start with your starting deck. But if you want an easier game, and it is recommended when you learn how to play this game, you can have a few buy rounds. And buy round means that you will draw 6 cards from your deck of cards. You will look at the numbers here, and this is like the value of cards. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And you have like 8 currency. And if you look at the top row of the free agent row, those cards here, they have this red value, and this is like the price. So you can spend the money you have from those 6 cards on the cards from the top row. You can buy 1 or you can buy 2, up to the money value you have. The thing is that whenever you buy a new card, you have to discard one of those cards, or not discard, rather remove one of your cards from the game, because your team always needs to have 15 cards. So whenever you buy a new card, you have to remove one of the cards from your hand. But let's say we don't buy any new cards. We start with the cards and with the deck that we have here. For your opponent, for the automated opponent, you will draw randomly 15 cards from the free agent deck, and this is the deck of cards the Automa will use for the whole game, for the whole 7 World Series games. Automa never buys new cards, so it will keep the 15 cards it got at the start of the game. Here we have different pawns that will represent players on the stadium mat, and they have 3 different colors. The white are like slow, you can say slow players, those are the average players, and the red ones are the fast ones. What it means I will tell you in a second. So, at the start of each mini game, because like one match is called mini game, you will draw 6 cards, 2, 4, 6, and those are the only cards that you will be able to play in a given game. You can look up those cards, of course. You cannot show them to your opponent. We play solo, so it's not a problem. For Automa, you will just take the play cards from top of this deck. Automa also will play 6 cards in each game. So you can look at those cards. Before the game starts, you have an option to place one of those cards to this on-deck section of your stadium mat. And if you choose to play one card here, you will place this card here and you will draw one new card. What's the purpose of putting one card on this on-deck section? You will be able to play this card basically after the game ends, to prevent some actions from your opponent card, but also anytime during the game, instead of playing one of the cards from your hand, you can discard the card with this PH symbol to play a card from top of your deck or a card from this location here. But we have those 6 cards. You are the visitor team and you will start first. So each turn you have to choose one card and you have to play it. And those cards, they have the name here. This is the, you can say, the money this card will give you in the buy round after the game ends, so you don't have to worry about this. This here says natural because you have 3 types of, you can say, players. You have natural, you have cyborg, and you also have robots. It doesn't matter when you play the card, but it matters when your opponent plays cards, because some abilities on your opponent cards, they may influence a specific type of card. So maybe they will play a card with ability that is good against natural players or against cyborg players. So this is the type of card. Here you have like special ability, this is called immediate action, and when you choose to play this card, you will trigger this card. And they have different abilities. They are all described in the rulebook, but they are also described here, and they basically influence the state of play of your opponent. Sometimes you will be able to remove players from your opponent mat, or you'll be able to cancel some of the Automa hits. Here we have nothing, but let's find the card. Okay, this means that this is like, it's called hitbox. And this hitbox means that this is like the opportunity of the things that will happen on your stadium board, but basically in the future. Because after you play your card, the opponent will play a card and the opponent will be able to affect your hits. This makes more sense maybe if we play a round or 2. So let's start the game with this card. This card doesn't have an ability because the first card I play, playing a card with the first card with ability doesn't make much sense because your opponent doesn't have any cards that you can influence. So I will play this card. And this says single, single, and this is the icon of a slow pawn. So after I choose to play this card, I will play this card. There is no ability. My opponent doesn't have any cards, so I cannot trigger my opponent hits. And I will place 2 white pawns, because you have one hitbox and second hitbox. For each hitbox here, you will place one card, one pawn on your base here in the color shown here. So one white pawn for the single and white pawn for this hitbox. And those pawns here, they are called batters. They will go out to the field, but a little later. So this is everything. This is my turn. And now it's turn of my opponent of the automa. Automa will take the top card from this deck and will play it. So, cyborg, fastball, cancel all hits versus a natural. And because we have a card with the type robot, it doesn't affect us. Normally, if this card would be natural, we will have to remove all those batters from this base here, from this home plate here. But we have a robot card, nothing happens. So my opponent will play this card. Now, after triggering this ability did nothing to us. My opponent will trigger my hits from my card. And this is the complex part of this game, that when you play your card, you will play your pawns on your home plate, but you will do nothing. And your opponent will trigger your hits, then you will play a card and your card will trigger opponent hits, and so on and so on. And this is because after you play your pawns, your batters on your home plate, the opponent will still have a chance to affect it. But this ability didn't affect our stadium because we have a robot card, not a natural, and now we will trigger our hitboxes. So, for a single, we place one of those batters on the field as base runner. So, because this is single, we place him on the first base. Now for the second box, you first need to advance all base runners, and because this is single, you will advance the base runner by one space, and then you will place this batter on the first base as a base runner. So this is everything. Both my hitboxes were triggered. Now we go back to this card, and this card says single and average. So because this is one hitbox, automa will place one batter, and because this is A with a blue color, it will place an average batter. So the automa placed this batter on their home plate. And now it goes back to us. Because we know that this is a cyborg card with one potential hit, we can try to influence it. Let's see if we have a card that can do something. We have this card, for example, glove, cancel one hit. So we can play this card, and this card cancels one hit from your opponent. Because here's only one hit, we remove this batter, and that's it. Now we don't have any hitboxes, so we'll not place any batters on our home plate. So now we go back to our opponent. Our opponent plays a card, stolen base, advance all average and fast base runners one base. Because our opponent doesn't have any base runner, this doesn't do anything. Now it will trigger our hitboxes, but we don't have any hitboxes, so we will continue with this card, single and double, fast and fast. So now we can do something. Let's say that we want to play this home run card. We'll place it. We doesn't have an ability that can affect our opponent, so now our opponent will try to trigger their hitboxes. Single, so you place this here, and then you have double. And the red base runners, they move the value of bases shown here +1. Double, it means that you should move it by 2 spaces, because this is a fast base runner, it will move 1 additional space. So 1, 2 and 3, and now it's got first point here. And now we played the double. So by playing double, you place this on the second base. And that's it. And now we have a home run and slow batter. So we play this here. And this is our potential hit in the future. We played 3 cards, so now it's Automa turn. Automa plays this card and it says glove, cancel 1 hit. So it basically cancels this home run and we remove this batter and it did nothing, and here is single fast, so it plays 2 batters, red color here. So this is how the game plays, back and forth. The key thing is that after you play your card, you trigger your ability, then you trigger the hitboxes from your opponent, and then you place batters as your possible hitboxes for the next turn. And then your opponent plays a card. It can play a card with abilities that trigger your card, and then your opponent will trigger your hitboxes, and you play back and forth. At the end of the game, the players with most runs wins the game. You will move this here, and the first player who wins 4 games out of 7 wins the whole World Series. After each game, as I said, you will be able to buy cards. Let's say that you played those cards during the game, so when the game ends, you take all the cards that you played in the previous game, you calculate the numbers, you can buy something, and the card you buy will go on the top of your lineup, and you continue playing the game. But this is not everything. If you look at the game box, you have all those different cards. And as you can see, the game is fun because this is just the basic game. You have all those starter teams. As you can see, you have 12 starter teams. You have different additional modules like robot hitters, cyborg pitchers, naturals, magna glove, rally cup expansion, double trouble, home cooking, and you can add those expansions to the game. Most of those expansions add more cards to the free agent deck, but you also have expansions like ballparks, that you have like different stadiums that you will be able to use during the game. You have this expansion with coaches. You will get a coach that you can with different abilities that you will be able to trigger during a game. So this is really cool because what you see here on the table, this is just the start, but because in this base loaded edition you have all those deck of cards, all those different teams, each time you play the game it will look a little different. If you play a game against a living player, you will play by your rules and your opponent will play by the same rules. So only the Automa, the solo mode works a little different. And that's how you play baseball highlights. So now you know how the game plays. The game is fairly simple in terms of rules, so the video will not be too long. I have to say that I really enjoyed this game. And I mainly played this game because a lot of people recommended it. And I heard a lot of recommendations from solo gamers that this game is cool, it's a clever deck building game and it plays solo really well. That's why I wanted to play it, because the theme of this game, baseball, is completely not my thing. I'm from Europe, from Poland. We don't play baseball here. This sport is not really known here and I don't know the rules. I have never watched any baseball games. So I looked at the game box and thought, okay, board game about baseball, about sports. I'm more into, fantasy, adventure, storytelling, campaign games. But a lot of people recommended it. I tried it and I had a lot of fun, and I have to say that it's a really cool, clever, fun game. If you are a baseball fan or not, it's a clever deck building game. I like card games, I like deck builders. You start with your basic team, but during the game you will upgrade your team, you will buy new players, you will remove the basic players from your deck. The rules are fun, and this initial idea that you play a card and during your turn you trigger your opponent hits and then your opponent plays a card and your opponent triggers your hits, it was a bit confusing when I started to learn this game, but after one game it was very intuitive, and this is really clever because it adds dynamic to the game. Like you play a card, but your opponent can counter like play a counter spell to your card, so this makes like it's a fun mechanic and makes the game dynamic, more like you could say real time in a way. There are a lot of cards in this game, in this box. This is the basis loaded edition that contains a lot of expansions that were previously released. So replayability in this box is really huge. You have 12 different teams. You have all those expansions that you can add to the free agent deck. So we'll have more and more cards with more and more different abilities. You have this whole reference booklet that explains you all the abilities, all the cards. You have the coaches, you have different stadiums, ballpark expansion. Really, really cool. So a lot of game inside this small, and not small, but inside this box. The game is very fast. You play the best out of 7 games. The whole league lasts up to 7 games, but one game you can play it in 10 minutes probably when you play solo. It's a fast game. You play a card, the automa plays a card, you play a card. After 6 turns, it's the end of the game. So it's fast, it's clever, it doesn't take much space on the table, just 2 stadium mats, the 6 cards from the market, and that's it. So it's a cool game, clever game, I like it a lot. Does it have any cons? It does. It's quite random, especially when you play solo with Automa. Automa gets 15 random cards from the free agent decks, and those cards can be powerful or less powerful. It's random. You never know what card Automa will play, and some cards that Automa plays are really well played, you can say, and they affect your hits, but some cards that Automa play doesn't make much sense, and probably if they were played by a human player will play different card. But on the other hand, Automa has got a powerful cards with a lot of hitboxes and powerful meeples, so the fact that it plays some actions not very clever, it's a good thing for you, because otherwise you will not have a chance. The game doesn't look that great. I mean, I played a lot of prettier games in my life. The art on the cards is like so I don't love the artwork in this game, and the box is quite huge. I mean, I don't sleeve my cards, so 2/3 of this box is like empty air here, and I would prefer this game to be in box half this size. It will be more portable because the game doesn't need a big table. It would be perfect game to take on the holidays or on a trip if it was in a smaller box. But overall, it's a very clever, smart game, and doesn't matter if you're a fan of baseball or not. If you like card games, if you like deck building games, you should definitely try this game, especially the basis loaded edition with all those expansions. A lot of replayability and fun gameplay. So if you play solo or with 2 players, I highly recommend it. With 3 players, it's not possible to play it, and with 4, you have to play some kind of a tournament or league. I think the game plays best with 2 or solo. So Eagle-Gryphon Games released quite a clever game. Click the like button, subscribe to my channel, let me know in the comments if you have played this game. It's not a new game, so probably some of you have already played this game. Visit me on my social media, you will find all the links in the description of this video. That's it for today. See you next time, thank you, bye.